Byron Donalds, he be getting in they ass when it comes to these when it comes to these congressional hearings, and these oversight committee hearings, when he's talking to the Democratic governors and mayors, they don't like to answer these questions. And you got to give it to Byron Donalds, like him or not like him. He really gets at direct to the questions, and a lot of times they don't want to answer these questions. So let this play.
Governor, you're wrong. You need to apologize to these agents. They're doing their jobs. They are Americans. They serve this country with honor and decency and respect. Do not diminish their work simply because you tried to make a cheap point that you could tweet.
Chair, I recognize Mr. Donalds from Florida.
Thank you, Chairman. To piggyback off my colleague, Governor Pritzker, how much does the state of Illinois spend on illegal immigration every year?
Again, illegal immigration, that's a federal responsibility. They could tell how much is wasted as a result of their failures.
Governor, don't you keep track of how many people are on your Medicaid rolls, how many people who are illegal immigrants in the state of Illinois who are getting actually benefits in your state? Doesn't your government keep track of that?
They don't get Medicaid in Illinois or any state, as far as I know.
Governor Pritzker, you do not keep track of any public service dollars in the state of Illinois that goes to illegal immigrants or goes to people in your state who are not legal residents of the United States and of the state of Illinois. You don't keep track of that.
We absolutely keep track of our budget. We're very closely. And in fact, it's been balanced for 7 years in a row, unlike the Republican before me. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. I noticed that in the state of Illinois, you guys don't really keep track of your money, because I asked your mayor in Chicago similar question about a month ago, and he didn't have an answer. It was quite interesting. I think this might be an Illinois problem.
Now, here's the thing. He did go in on Brandon Johnson months back, and the same issue. Brandon Johnson didn't want to answer the question. Now, this is a major problem. However you feel about immigration you're right. All good. I'm not even going to go try to argue the point this time. I did that last show, but these questions have to be answered one way or another, whether you are pro illegal immigration or not, or however you feel about it. These questions do need to be answered because they're financial. I know it feels like a trap for a lot of the Democratic governors and mayors, because they really don't want to answer and talk about how much money they spent, because it feels cringy when you start to talk about millions and billions of dollars that were spent subsidizing people who came over here illegally. It's cringy. Even if you believe in it and you feel like it's not a problem, I think they think it feels bad to talk about it in public, so they don't want to name the numbers. Brandon Johnson, like I said, had the same issue. Pritzker doesn't want to answer because Illinois. Here's the problem: they spent so much money, but Illinois has so many domestic problems as far as domestically. When people from Illinois hear how much money was spent, they get pissed off. And again, this is the branding of the Democrats, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do it. They did it. They made it that way. So they don't want to name those numbers. Let's go to the next one.
In your state, you are spending about roughly $4 billion on illegal immigration. And at the same time, you are actually asking the federal government for $4 billion to finish Penn Station. Don't you think it would be better to stop funding illegal immigrants in your state and actually use those resources to finish Penn Station, as opposed to coming to the federal government for the money?
Penn Station is owned by Amtrak, not by the state, so it's an appropriate use of their dollars, and Donald Trump has agreed to spend upwards of $7 billion. I appreciated that very much. What we spend on immigrants, the immigrants who are here hardworking to live a life and working on our farms and taking care of our parents in nursing homes and taking care of our children, they have been coming here for 400 years, and we don't keep.
What? Wait a minute. What is she talking about? What illegal immigrants is in New York working on farms, right? And working in old folks' homes? Come on. Stop it, Kathy. This sounds crazy. But let it keep playing. It's all good.
Track of individuals based on their status. We make sure that people have services so we don't end up with an unexpected.
So essentially what you're telling me is that you keep no track of money that is going to people who are not legal in the United States, resources that are taken away from New Yorkers, resources that are taken away from Illinoisans. You guys do not keep track of any of this.
You know, what's really challenging is that many people came here with legal status. I mean, temporary protective status, 300,000.
Do you
all of a sudden they wake up one day and it's gone.
Do you go along with the strategy from the Biden administration, which massively expanded immigration protocols that overwhelmed your city and overwhelmed your state. Do you agree with that?